Welcome to procedural operations for the VRS F-18 Echo Super Hornet. Again, you're joining me aboard ship Viking 103. Currently out in the Atlantic test range working with a CanForce aircraft to show you guys some of the features of the radar systems, which we've just gone into in the fifth video, and now air-to-air engagement, which we'll go into in the sixth video. This will not be a dogfighting video. It will simply showcase how to appropriately identify, process, and then finally engage aircraft using a variety of air-to-air ordnance through this aircraft. The CanForce aircraft that's working with me will be kind of working as a dummy with this. Ordnance loose in this exercise is simulated and will not be impacting on that aircraft. Currently it's dark outside, as I mentioned in my previous video, as our local time is in fact 0006 hours, and we are both connected to the VATSIM network. We're performing this in a proper orderly manner with a warning area activated off the coast of the US in the Atlantic test ranges, and maintaining our area properly without interfering with civilian traffic. So, our fifth video, as I said, went into target identification and tracking with the radar, and now we're going to actually use that target identification to engage a hostile target, and we're going to do that with a variety of means. I've been flying away this way towards the northeast, as I'm aware, based on my prior radar picture, that the CanForce aircraft is around probably my 5 o'clock now, working back around the bullseye, the Preppy intersection, which I've marked on my HUZI and situational awareness screen there. We're still in air-to-air mode and still master safe right now, and I'm going to remain safe until I've actually properly identified a target. So this time I'm going to start banking back around, and yes, I'm remaining in an autopilot mode for this exercise because really I have no need not to. It's not a dogfighting video, it's a showcase and procedural operations video. And you can see we've now tracked a new target. This is again the CanForce ship, which I'm now seeing in front of me. We're going to try to slide in behind him shortly as he continues his turn around the intersection. However, we're going to attempt to engage him as we do that, and maybe turn in on him and see if we can't get a shot off while we go. So as we are right now, we're just tracking him in range wall search. He's just showing up as a raw target. We haven't designated him at all. Track wall scan, now he's showing as a priority 1 target. So our first instance of the undesignate command, shift delete, will provide us with him as the launch and steering target, which will be the target tracked by our weapon systems if we decide to track him. I'm now going to select him, and having determined based on whatever information I have, be it AWACS information or intel or ground controlled intercept intel, or just eyeballing the aircraft, or perhaps being fired on by that aircraft, he's hostile. So we now have him designated as a verified hostile target, and we're going to turn to try to make some sense of that target and perhaps engage it. I'm going to keep my radar up and drop my situational awareness screen, as I think that's the one that I need the least right now. We're going to go to stores and look at what we have available. Currently on this ship, I have 4 AIM-120 AMRAAM active radar homing missiles and 4 AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. I also have 412 rounds of cannon ammunition that we'll maybe go into in a bit if we get up close and dirty with them. For now, we're at a fairly significant range. If you notice, I select the AIM-9X. We now get a ladder underneath that target indicating the proper engagement distances. Most notably, the maximum and minimum engagement distances are very, very short for the Sidewinder. It will not track very well at a long range. At where we are now, we're going to want to start looking at the AMRAAMs. Again, they're a medium range missile. They're not going to be able to see him all the way out there, but he's starting to come into our appropriate engagement range. So we're going to allow that to close a little bit as we have the AMRAAM selected, and we should start to see some decent lock. And just while we're looking at it, this ladder shows a couple things on it. It shows the maximum aerodynamic range of the weapon that we're planning on firing. So that 30-something mile range is the maximum range that the AMRAAM can actually travel from our ship if we fire it right now. Inside of that is the is the normal maximum range, which is considerably shorter. That's the normal operational maximum range. That's probably around 25 miles, 26 miles. So we're going to let that come down, let that target ship come down into that range gate. And shortly below that is the range of no escape ladder position, where it's estimated based on the computer's information that this target will have the least chance of making an evasive maneuver that allows them to escape the weapon when it's fired. And all the way at the bottom is the minimum range of the weapon. Anything closer than that is a terrible idea to fire at, because then you're going to be potentially damaging your own aircraft or just completely losing a missile when you can't afford to lose one. So as we continue to turn into him, we're going to let him come down in range inside our normal maximum range, and then we're going to be able to pop on our we're going to be able to actually target him fairly well, I think. Let our nose come down, let him come inside our tracking circle here, which indicates our good targeting for the radar. And we're going to pop off our master, pop into master arm. I've also gone into a single target track on that aircraft to maintain a radar picture on it. And as we come down, we should be seeing caging and uncaging the weapon. We should be seeing an indicator, a good shoot indicator, as the radar properly tracks the target and it becomes appropriately targeted by the missile. I'm going to cycle our weapons real quick and see what this does for us, because it's acting slightly strangely right now. Cycling some tricks here to get it back into single target track and hopefully get us within an appropriate range to engage the aircraft, which we should be within already, but it appears to be acting a little bit strangely. The A-9s, however, are tracking easily. You can see I'm now closing on that aircraft quite well. I have the high growl indicating that the Sidewinder is locked on the aircraft and on the heat signal for the aircraft, and it's ready to fire. All I have to do at that point is trigger the weapon to allow the Sidewinder to fire, and I can actually move into a lead circle here that will allow it to be directly along the lead of the aircraft. So if I now lose the Sidewinder, we're now in the correct range, correct track. That's one away, and you can see it move away and track the aircraft's trajectory. It should have no bearing on the aircraft as, again, it's a simulated collision. We're going to go back to the AMRAAMs. Take another look at that. Apparently that was a very good simulation, because this aircraft is now showing it's a burning wreck. And we're actually going to do a little bit of a circle in position and re-engage. Can't Volkswagen. Did one pass, got a little bit close to you in the process, and we're actually going to back off a little bit and come back around for one more pass, target the AMRAAMs and see how that goes. The Sidewinder has worked out well, but we're gonna go for the AMRAAMs again. They were having some trouble targeting.
Roger, that was you starboard side of the circle.
Right. I'm now gonna let us drop out of our combat modes there and hopefully reestablish contact here as we go back around. established our command force aircraft in front of us. We're going to range back down and designate that target. We're now into our air-to-air mode again, and I'm going to go back to our situational awareness. For safety's sake, just designate that as our one hostile target so we don't go engaging something else that we shouldn't be engaging. Back to source, we're once again selected on AMRAAMs. We're once again within the window. Our radar is operational, and I'm now going to shift it with control forward into our well, that didn't work out very well, did it? Bit odd, but we're gonna try that again. Redesignate our target. We're gonna find our lead point for it, and then take a look at our situational awareness. Again, we see it tracking away from us. It's in a very good tail towards aspect. It's now designated as hostile. And we're going to get ready to re-engage. We're actually going to re-engage it straight out of track wall scan so that we don't get into any of the issues that we were having earlier. I believe that's been rectified. Again, don't aim at the target itself. Aim for the lead circle. And as soon as you have the lead dot inside your circle, the computer again is calculating the appropriate lead point to maximize the efficiency of the weapon as it fires. And the weapon's now ready to fire. It's tracking by radar. He's just inside the no return area, which is excellent. He's in a prime position to be fired upon right now, and well within the range of the weapon. So at that time, the Sidewinders would have been a Fox 2, that being a heat-seeking missile. The proper radio call would be for a Fox 3 release. And that's what's happened just now. You can see there's actually a triangle that shows the predicted flight path of the weapon. It's popping up and moving towards the target. And we should see it actually engage the target directly in a short time as we get closer to that area. This triangle, again, it shows it's armed rather than any time, showing time to arm. And it will continue on past there, as that's just an estimation by the computer. You'll see we've now lost the target, and we've gone back to track wall scan. And we can change that back to range wall search. And that target loss indicates that it was probably at least simulated destroyed by the AMRAAM. And once again, it's now reappeared as a normal command force aircraft that we can then, if we wish, designate as friendly and treat as our friend. However, we don't feel like doing that. We're actually going to transition into our guns mode, get our reticle going. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do that quite yet, because that forces us into a mode that we don't want to be in. We're going to bend around and join up with our target here. And as soon as we've re-identified this target visually, we're going to switch into our guns mode and re-engage it. We're now looking at our launch and steering target in the HUD, even though we don't physically see it. We know it's tracking slower than us and ahead of us, and we can now switch to guns to engage that target. You'll now see it's being addressed by the gun. And we have the radar directly tracking that target. We also have a closing velocity showing how quickly we're coming up to that aircraft, and we can now engage it directly. And the gun does in fact track automatically, which we've done, and engage that target. We're now going to break away and escape what would be, if not simulated, the falling wreckage of that ship. So, with some interruptions and some confusion in the midst of it, that pretty much summarizes the engagement with weapon systems of this aircraft at a basic level. There's a lot more to go into, but that's at least the air-to-air master mode and how to generally apply it in most of the situations. We're going to resafe our weapons, come back to Nav Master, and that'll conclude our video for tonight. So, thank you very much for watching, and I think at some point we'll probably do an additional series that might show this in a little less confused, a little more realistic detail rather than simply a very talky showcase. Thank you.